This new game is rivaling Battlefield 2042. This one is a remaster of a huge PlayStation game. This one is being made by Danny Dev, this one is perfect for Smash fans, and this one is the most hyped first-person shooter of 2022. Every year, new PC games come out and some are definitely better than others, so this is why I've spent the last 2 weeks compiling the new games that will be huge. This is Undercover Dudes, and these are the 10 best upcoming PC games to play in 2022, including some you can play right now. By far, one of the most legendary PlayStation game series out is Uncharted, and with Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, it's coming to the PC. This particular game includes 2 titles in Uncharted 4: A Thief's End and Uncharted The Lost Legacy, and each game has received incredible reviews. Now, being brought to the PC, they didn't just want to port it over, so for this they have completely remastered it, which is awesome. Now, if you've ever played an Uncharted game, you know how fantastic the gameplay, graphics, sound, atmosphere, and just overall experience is, so there's no doubt it's gonna be great on the PC too, and with updated graphics, it's even better. Personally, it's awesome to see PlayStation games finally get their time to shine on the PC, not only so everybody can play it, but also so it can be really pushed to the max with extremely powerful systems. Overall, super excited for this one, look forward to it in later 2022. Hogwarts Legacy is a new open-world action RPG set in the 1800s, where as a new student at Hogwarts you hold the secret that could tear the wizard world apart. Typically, video games based on movies are terrible, but honestly I think this game could be the exception. Graphically, Legacy looks insane, Hogwarts is super detailed and vibrant, the characters are the best they've ever looked, and they've totally captured the atmosphere and magic of Harry Potter. The gameplay and combat pairs with this perfectly, the spells have a huge amount of impact, and fighting against the dark arts looks incredible. But more so, it's the small things like choosing a house, interacting with other students. It's going to make the whole game feel alive if, and I mean if, they can go and pull it off. No doubt this is going to be one of the best games of 2022 or a complete disappointment, and I'm absolutely here for it. System specifications haven't been released yet, and all we know is that it's coming out sometime this year, but exactly when, who knows. Next up today, my friends, is Overwatch 2, the upcoming huge update / re-release of 2016's Overwatch. This game has got plenty of coverage recently of its development and progress, most recently the closed betas which got huge views on Twitch. From this we can see the differences between the old and the new, updated gameplay, new modes, new maps, UI updates, tons of new heroes and much more. It's a big change and is definitely one of 2022's biggest releases. Now I get why they've done this whole Overwatch 2 thing, but they could have probably released the changes update by update that keep Overwatch alive. On the other hand, the move to 5 vs 5 and the map changes might be substantial enough to be a sequel. It's hard to say, but hey, that's the choice they've chosen. Regardless, this game looks pretty sick, and furthermore, Overwatch 2 is actually going to be free to play. To what extent they'll monetize, we really don't know, but it's exciting to see that there will be no paid barrier to entry. Now, in terms of when this game is actually coming out, we actually have a release date for the 4th of October. Expect some more betas coming soon. A Plague's Tale Requiem is an upcoming action-adventure stealth game, and in this game you follow Amicia and Hugo, who are siblings, and they must look for a cure to Hugo's blood disease, all while evading soldiers along with rats carrying the Black Plague. This era is explored not so often in video games, and definitely not from the perspective of fleeing children, so it's super interesting to see something different showcased. Now, graphically, this game looks absolutely gorgeous. The attention to detail is present not only in the characters, but also the beautiful environment, varying from the bustling towns to sprawling beaches and everything in between. The gameplay similarly looks fantastic, a combination of action-adventure stealth mechanics with third-person shooting, all weaved in between the story and set pieces that really will bring the best of this game out. The developers also put a big emphasis on this game's soundtrack, which they describe as enthralling, and I'm sure given the intensity of this game that the music and sound will be a pivotal part of the experience. System specification wise, we really don't have much information as of yet, however we do have a release date of October the 19th, so get keen for that. Our next game today is another one coming from the PlayStation, and that's Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. A PC version of the highly rated and well-loved Marvel Spider-Man, this remastered version is not just a port and brings a whole suite of features that completely change the experience. In the graphics department, it's been completely optimized for the PC, including unlocked frame rates, NVIDIA DLSS, ray trace reflections, improved shadows, and ultra-wide screen support, and that's just going to make the city look better than ever. Now this is naturally really cool and brings a ton of stuff to the table, but the feature that ensured I had to include it on this list is the unlimited modding potential. Fans are already super excited to get custom suits in-game, most particularly the classic suit from the amazing Spider-Man 2, and this level of community participation is awesome to see. Another really interesting note is the required system specifications, which are incredibly low for such a good looking game. Release date wise, we've already got it locked in. Look out for it on the 13th of August, which is really soon. The next game for today is one I didn't think would even exist, and that's Saints Row, an upcoming action-adventure game and reboot of the classic series. Given how popular Saints Row was, I'm surprised they haven't done this sooner, but since it's always been the chaotic version of GTA, it makes sense they're doing it now with the wait for GTA 6. With this reboot, it takes Saints Row to the 2022 standard with an enhanced in-house engine under the hood, delivering a huge increase in quality. Another thing we definitely know is that the humor is back, combined with the ridiculousness that Saints Row is very much known for. The gameplay channels directly into this, ridiculous missions dragging shipping containers behind your vehicle, huge guns causing huge explosions, crazy finishing maneuvers, so on and so on. A large level of customization will be present too, with tons of clothing options to make your character look unique. There's no doubt this game is a blast from the past and should be perfect if you want something a bit less serious. Look forward to it on August the 23rd. Danny Dev is no doubt one of the most talented YouTubers out there, and also one of the most talented indie game developers making games right now. We've seen the huge success of many of his games such as Muck and Crab Game, however his original game is still not released, and that game is Carlson. Carlson is a fast-paced first-person shooter with straightforward gameplay combined with extremely well-designed maps, funny weapons, great visual design, and tons of milk jokes. Really, the aim of the game here is skill-based movement and really fast map times, perfect for casual and hardcore players alike. Now this has resulted in a cult following, not only from Danny's fans but also avid speedrunners alike, as it has fantastic gameplay that people want but also the mean potential to draw anybody in. Now the demo for Carlson showed a fantastic glimpse into what is to come. Each map is well thought out but complex, leaving you want to try more and more to get your time down. Gameplay is easy to pick up like the classic FPS games of old, but it's addicting as more and more elements get introduced as the game goes on. Given it's one of the most wishlisted games on Steam, I think 2022 is going to be the year, but while we wait, make sure to check that demo out. Next up today is Battlebit Remastered, the new low-poly first-person shooter that is attempting to rival Battlefield 2042. Battlebit does this by delivering a massively multiplayer experience with up to 254 players in a single server, which is absolutely insane. Now in this game you fight on large battlefields with ground vehicles, boats, air support, and of course infantry in a near fully destructible map, a super impressive feat from a team of only 3 developers. Now Battlebit is not just about the chaos, it also features a huge array of weaponry along with a crazy level of customization, including scopes, stocks, magazines, rails and more. This customization is fantastic, but what I like even more is the classes. It's nothing fancy really, it's just what we expect from a Battlefield-like game: the leader, assault, medic, sniper and so on, but these defined classes work fantastically as weapons and gadgets are locked behind those classes. One huge positive for this game is of course the required system specifications, because with the low poly graphics comes a game that basically everybody can play. Playtest after playtest has occurred and the community is loving this game, but for when it's actually coming out, look forward to early access later this year. Multiverse is attempting to be the frontrunner for the next generation of platform fighting games, going right up against the juggernauts of Brawlhalla and Smash. In Multiverse, you team up with or against your friends with some iconic characters, including Batman, Shaggy, Superman, Bugs Bunny, and more. There's a huge variety of maps, customization, and overall content, and it's incredibly obvious that Warner Bros. Is putting a lot behind this game to try to break into the scene. Graphically, this game looks fantastic, and the gameplay is pretty good too, with heaps of combos and overall depth. It's got that classic brawler style with a fresh coat of 2022 paint. Mode-wise, there's a lot on the table. There's a 2v2 co-op focus experience, intense 1v1s, and also the 4-player free-for-all. A very interesting aspect is that the devs are really leaning into the competitive and ranked experience, with support for online and local play. In terms of when you can play, Multiverse actually launched free to play barely a week ago, and it's one of the few games on this list you can check out right now. Next up is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the sequel to one of the biggest first-person shooter releases of the last couple of years. Featuring the iconic operators of Task Force 141, massive changes to the movement system, and incredible graphics, Modern Warfare 2 is going to be huge. Look forward to it on the 28th of October.